The Book of Alif Singularity, written by Ibn Arabi, speaks of change and power originating from the divine. I wrote this book in the Al-Aqsa Mosque within an hour of daylight. The praise of Birin Hamdi is of singular patriotism. The nationality of Tekin's praise is from its singularity, the individuality of the loner's praise is from its solitude, and the solitude of the individual's praise is from its individuality. When the observer compensates the gaze anew, remembering the time, the knower becomes aware of this secret. The existence of humanity shines implicitly, not overtly. The nationality of the one's praise stems from its duality, the fertility of the individual's praise comes from being in pairs, and the solitude of loneliness is due to companionship. But the singularity of Tekin's praise remains singular in its singularity. Baki remains exalted and transcendent in a sanctity of one who is, referring to Muhammad, after examples related to the art of counting. Excluding Tekin, it is the same in solitude and individuality. Therefore, Saladin turned to himself because there was no one else to perform Islam in this station, and he greeted him. My brothers, may the peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you. Listen well and keep what you hear. Do not reveal it to anyone, or you will be cut off from mercy. This is the Book of Alif for you. Its messenger is one, and you are brought the messenger of singularity because of your oneness. He equated his relation with his unity. You are brought the messenger of solitude because you are equated with his loneliness. Prepare for the arrival of the messengers, fulfill their paths, and may Allah help you with his support. Now, above the station of Tekin's singularity, there is a curtain of glory, and this curtain shall never be opened. No one but he can see him in his technique, as realities do not allow this. Know that the most perfect of forms and the most complete of existences is man, not created on the technique of uniqueness but on the revelation of unity. Because singularity is absolutely self-sufficient, it does not strengthen a power, thus, this meaning, i.e., absolute self-sufficiency, is not valid for a singular human. Unity does not strengthen with the power of singularity, nor is it equivalent to singularity, because singularity is intrinsically linked to the essence of identity, while unity is its name, and duality derives from this. That's why, in relation to the share of the Lord, the expression ahat, the one, is used, while vahit, the unique, is used for unity in technique. The attributes of transcendence are also mentioned in unity. When the Jews asked Muhammad to tell them about the share of their Lord, he replied, He is Allah, one, and the chapter Al-Ikhlas was revealed. If you pay attention to the narration, the Jews use the term share but do not use expressions like set or attribute. On the other hand, the quality of uniqueness applies to man and other beings so that man does not embark on greed. As Allah says in a verse, let him do good works and not associate anything in worship with his Lord, Al-Kahf. The polytheists associated angels, stars, humans, devils, animals, trees, and inanimate objects with him. Thus, the technique of existence was permeated. Man desired to be unique, and uniqueness became general, covering all creation, because divinity permeated them. However, no one except whom Allah wills is aware of this permeation. This verse hints at this truth. Your Lord has commanded that you worship none but Him. The decree of Allah given by a creature cannot be turned away. His decree prevails and is executed. Therefore, no worshipper worships anyone but Him. Thus, the unique is one, the idol is not the object, but the sought-after secret, which is the secret of singularity, an elusive secret. The worshipped is the essence, and the collector is God. The wise have said this verse points to this, and do not associate anything with your Lord in worship. Because the unique does not accept partnership, and it is not possible to worship the associate. Worship is only directed to the Lord. Thus, it indicates the sufficiency and transcendence of the station of lordship, as we hinted earlier. Therefore, the unique is a supreme will, a sacred space that is untouchable, unopened, always unknown, invisible, and does not manifest eternally because its truth prevents this. The burning metaphors are directed here. My brothers, therefore, do not attempt to lift this curtain, for if you do not know, you will tire in vain. But provide the necessary strength and preparation for extinction in oneness, because your origin and return are to oneness. As mentioned in the Gardens of Eden and the appearance of others, then for you, this unity was dualized, and then Allah attributed it to Himself. We talked about this attribution. Similar pronouns in the book known as the Oil Book refer to it. The one does not care about others. Numbers and multiplicity appear in spiritual but non-existent levels. Therefore, everything in existence is one. If there were no one, the unity of Allah would not be proven alongside existence. For existence proves what it is upon. As the poet says, there is a sign in everything that shows He is one. The verse indicating Allah's unity in a thing is its nature, nothing else. Things in existence, like beauty, necessarily know their Creator's unity. Therefore, He is necessarily one. It is unthinkable that a polytheist does not believe in unity, rather, he believes in it, but distantly and indirectly, and spatially distant, thus condemned to misfortune. The believer expresses unity in a close place and is happy with proximity. Otherwise, the person we call polytheist has proven the unity and the secret of unity of his idol, as well as the unity of the partner and the secret of unity of the right. Like the face to the Kaaba and the heart to the truth, but since the command to face the Kaaba is lawful, it is accepted as proximity. Like the angels prostrating to the secrets of Adam, while Adam prostrates to his Creator. Therefore, every worship performed due to a command is praised, and every worship not due to a command is blamed. However, worship outside of command stands with the divine will, which is the level of the essence of non-compulsion. For this reason, Almighty Allah has said, "We did not write it, but they did it to gain the pleasure of Allah, yet they did not comply with it as they should." This indicates that there is a right that must be observed and protected, which is for divine striving. Because if they had not imagined the worshipped entity as divine, they would definitely not have worshipped it. Therefore, for them, this divine secret is, for us, a divine command. However, the Almighty has linked happiness to obedience and unhappiness to disobedience. There is no lawgiver other than Allah. Divine laws descend from behind the veil of reason to the secrets, brought down by the messenger of will, which philosophers call politics. Indeed, prophets have thought that their laws were revealed to them in this way. This is indeed the case, but they have confused the two situations because they did not know the universe of presence. Therefore, the praised one worshipped in every language, condition, and time is one. Every worshipper is also one. There is nothing but one in the middle. Two is nothing but one plus another one. Because you will not find anything other than 1 in 3, 4, 10, 100, 1,000. There is nothing extra. One has appeared spiritually in 2 stages and thus has taken 2 names. Then it appeared in 3 stages and was called 111. When 1 more is added to this, it becomes 4. When 1 is added to 4, it becomes 5. You can construct these numbers as you can annihilate them. When we eliminate one of the existing 5, 5 also disappears. When 1 appears, 5 also appears. This is valid for everything. This is the right of unity, and we have emerged with its existence. If it did not exist, we would not exist, but our non-existence does not necessitate the non-existence of Almighty Allah, just as the non-existence of 5 does not necessitate the non-existence of 1. Because numbers come from 1, but 1 does not come from them. Therefore, numbers appear with 1, but the disappearance of numbers does not cause the disappearance of 1. The same applies to the levels it has reached. If there is no spiritual 1 at a level, it cannot appear with unity. Understand this oneness and monotheism well. In this context, avoid unification and union, because in the level where unity appears, unification is not valid. Because two different entities cannot be one. There are two ones, and they consist of one appearing at two different levels. Therefore, when one is multiplied by one, it does not increase. The multiplication of the two does not result in plurality. Because they consist of it. When you multiply something with itself, you cannot obtain anything other than itself. For example, if you multiply me with myself, you get me. If you multiply it with itself, you get it. This applies to everything multiplied by itself. Even in sentences and groups, if you multiply a sentence with a sentence, you get the numbers of one of the two sentences completely in each member's level of the multiplied sentence. Because the sentence is one within sentences, and sentences are made up of ones. Ones consist of repetition at a known level. Therefore, the spread of the effort of unity is like duality, and it does not exist. Because the truth either destroys it or does not allow it. But it is not non-existent either, because the truth proves it. This example we have given means 4 times 4, and the result of this operation is 16. It is as if 4 has entered into the members of the other 4 or into its members, which is necessarily true. As a result, 16 occurs. Because 4b is a truth, and 16 is also a truth from 1. This is what we meant above, and this is a correct conclusion. Similarly, when we say 7 times 8, which consists of multiplying two different numbers, the result of their multiplication is 56. It is as if saying 7 has entered the members of 8 or 8 has entered the members of 7. How many levels will appear from these members? The answer should be 56 ones. It is said that one has walked 56 stages. One should be known in this way. However, it is only the word alone that is common to the meaning of the name Vahit. Because Vatir, odd, is common in terms of source with Vod, unity. That is why the odd-numbered prayer can be performed in 1 or 3 rakats. Bert, individual, is also common with 1. Because the individual only appears in numbers of 3 or higher and cannot be divided in equal numbers like 5, 7, 9, 10, 11. As if Vatir, odd, wants to take revenge from a Vahid, 1. Because Vahit, 1, has brought it down from many positions, leaving very little space behind, allowing it to remain only in a type of prayer, the odd-numbered prayer, and the names of Almighty Allah. Vahit, 1, is a name that flows and permeates every level and stage. The word Vatir in language means entering into something, which expresses this desire for revenge. The reason for Vatir being common in source with Vahid is because time has brought it down from many levels. It is not the opposite. The reason for Vatir being transmitted less from the level is because it is common in source with time. Fert, individual, also continues its existence in levels like Vahid, 1. Because in terms of source, it is not common with Vod, unity. Vahit, 1, has made it possible for the individual to indicate its levels, and this has been possible with the permission of Vahid, 1. Therefore, it is not important to be under the command of 1. Vatir is also with the permission of Vahid, 1. Therefore, our assessment should be taken as the basis. The first step of individuality is 3. That is why the delicacy given to humanity is opposed to the intention of unity. Because the delicacy given to humanity has been established with the prior existence of duality. Duality is the shaping of the body and the direction of the universal soul to it. Therefore, the partial soul was born. The partial soul is the delicate humanity. In this pursuit, man has become individual. The husband of the shaped body is the universal soul, and the partial soul is the child of these two and has also become individual. The individual wants to find warmth just as the father, the universal soul, has found tranquility in the mother, the body. He wants a spouse to find tranquility and says, "My Lord, do not leave me alone, you are the best of inheritors." Surah Al-Anbiya, 89. The reason for this request is knowing that the work will return to the Lord after him and that this is a response to his Lord making him a deputy. This verse points to his appointment as a deputy. He made you trustees, authorized to manage what he bestowed. We see this meaning emphasized in the Prophet's journey prayer, "O Allah, you are my deputy in my family." It's as if the true servant is acting on his command, acknowledging that there is no deity but him, the supreme in will. What he does is right. Similarly, Almighty Allah has said about inheritance, "Indeed, the earth belongs to Allah. He makes a parent whom he wishes among his servants." We had seen earlier where a person said to Allah, "You are the best of inheritors." In another verse, Almighty Allah says, "Only we will inherit the earth and all upon it, and to us they will be returned." Where is the wisdom in not considering this manifestation of the right, the divine decree in terms of the servant's role? Why don't they re-examine the issue in the light of the verse? Why did they not know Allah properly? How is it that they do not contemplate this manifestation of Almighty Allah, who possesses the attribute of majesty, towards his servants? I mentioned earlier that veiling appeared in human bodies in two places. One in Adam, when I have shaped him and breathed my spirit into him, fall down bowing to him, and the other in Jesus, son of Mary, in whom we blew our spirit. Thus, the spirit in Jesus functioned as it did in Adam. The reason for the spirit's emergence in a body is because it appears in the realm of bodies. When it descends into the physical world, it is closer to corporeality than physicality, thus possessing the characteristics of angelic and fiery spirits. When it becomes visible to the eyes, it dons a body, and the sense of sight is its connection to bodies, but from its own perspective, it is on the level of bodily spirituality, like things seen in a vision in the shape of a body. Almighty Allah has said, "The likeness of Jesus with Allah is as the likeness of Adam." Al-Imran 59. This similarity is related to their individualities. However, the body of Jesus was pure, thus termed as spirit, while the name Adam is related to the external, the skin, as Adam was created from the surface of the earth. Where is the external purity in this? That's why Almighty Allah said, He created him from earth. But He did not say, He created both Adam and Jesus, indicating that the pronoun in the verse usually refers to the nearest antecedent. Adam's clay was kneaded, and it was the divine hand that toiled it. Similarly, Jesus also toiled the clay of the bird He created by Allah's permission, drawing attention to the similarity between Himself and Adam, implying that the reality is not as it seems. The strength of the spirit belongs to me. I am of the body, and so is Adam. I was created from the right-hand side, and Adam from the outer surface of the earth, both created by the right hands. I was created through the free hand. That's why Almighty Allah said, "What prevented you from bowing down to what I created with my own hands?" Sad 75. In this verse, Almighty Allah speaks of Adam, mentioning his two hands, as today all causes operate by that divine hand. If causes knew whom they deputize, they would define their capacities and limits. But the causes did not see this and said nothing but, we will remove the veil from their eyes, and their sight will be sharp. I am who I am because of this. Jesus certainly speaks of the hand, but from Mary's perspective, he mentions the known hand. Both are the right hand of my Lord, saying the body is the son of my Father's daughter, and I am the spirit of my Father, my mother, and both of their son. The coming together of two hands distinguishes the duality, the individuality of the two. That's why in analytical terms, the likeness of Jesus is as the likeness of Adam. This is one of the secrets of individuality. Eve, on the other hand, represents the hidden, for the individual does not know until awakened. She was created from the sleeping skin in his own image, just as Adam was created in his image. There is no need to think beyond this, as sexual desire and affection arose in the place prepared by Eve, for there is no void in existence. As the air descended there, the desire became fixed and changed. The desire became populated where Eve emerged from Adam, and the desire became stronger than the air because the air had a place for desire. That's why women have more control over their desires than men, as in men, the desire is inherent. But in women, it remains as a trace of compassion in the place they prepared. The desire in the air, due to the nature of the land, is like a garment. The desire in Adam swelled and enveloped them both. For this reason, during orgasm, the sexual desire encompasses the whole body, hence the entire body must be washed because the body has wholly perished in that moment, and thus, it must be completely cleansed. Almighty Allah has said, it emerges between the back and the chest. Al-Tariq 7, thus, Adam is the individual, and Eve is the one. The individual can only be discussed after the stability of two, hence weak in terms of the honor of unity. That's why it is said, do not leave me alone. Do not say that this saying aims to return to unity in individuality, as it is not true for two reasons. First, the individual is not one, and second, Almighty Allah has accepted his prayer. We answered his prayer and gave him John. Al-Anbiya 90, when his spouse was bestowed upon him, another individual appeared, John. Then the divine drew attention to the unity of the woman and the individuality of the man in the context of inheritance, indicating the woman's strength and the man's weakness. In the context of inheritance, more is given to the weaker, so that the direction of weakness and development is strengthened. Because the individual accepts only what is like itself, hence a share is given to it. The individual is the same as two and looks to what it originated from. Therefore, 2 shares are given to it. For the tree, 1/3 to the woman and 2/3 to the man, for there are none but these two. Think deeply about this point, for the decree moves with the excess and deficiency, and the issue is in the manner of its preaching. The decree is always related to the framework, hence we said about Jesus, if there was no material framework, he would never have appeared physically. Therefore, the framework is Mary, understanding the duality of the one and the coupling of the given couple. We sought the intercessor at the threshold of the alone, and we wanted to clarify this for the brothers. Because there is the honor of the one in it, and because in the estate at the threshold, a woman remains permanent for you. The alone has many shares in terms of source, but it is not like the one, as one is its origin. That's why Almighty Allah swore, by the twin and the single. Al-Far 3, here, Almighty Allah swears by the twin and the single. But the single does not have this property of permeating fluidity. Therefore, the conceptual significance of unity is invoked, but not in terms of identity and similarity, so that the single can exist with the twin and confront unity in permeation. But the single does not have such a property. Therefore, Almighty Allah swears, by the night as it covers. Al-Far 3, here, attention is drawn to the stages of emergence in levels for the numbers to appear, but night is used metaphorically instead of one. The reason is the same as unity being concealed in terms of appearance within the numbers. Unity becomes apparent in every substance, for it manifests itself in matter. When you count numbers, you never say, 1 after 1, instead, you say 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and so on. Thus, the 12 simple numbers resemble 1, as they appear in stages like the appearance of 1. These numbers are nominally the echoes of 1, not in meaning. The numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 1000. There are no more than these, as the rule concerns only these 12. Almighty Allah has linked existence to the number 12. These are the famous 12 zodiac signs: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Pisces is the 12th sign, Aries the first. In numbers, the order proceeds from Pisces, which lives in water. Almighty Allah has said, "We made every living thing from water." Al-Anbiya 30, everything in the realm of existence is alive, for everything in existence symbolically represents Allah. Thus, the secret of life is present in all beings. As we mentioned before, the secret of the moon permeates all beings. Thus, in numbers, nothing but these two words appear. For example, we say 21, 32, 43, 4000. Hence, the number 12 is a debt to all derived beings. Consider the spiritual heavens, the sovereignty of unity, and the power of dominion. Nothing is as noble or as magnificent. It appears in objects not by name but by meaning. If there was no meaning of one, objects of things would not exist. If one appeared by name, still, objects of things would not appear. The purpose behind their appearance is the necessity for one to be found in them by meaning and by name. When the name appears, existence ceases. When the meaning is lost, existence ceases. My Lord, think carefully. Can a one result in an outcome? Certainly not. The outcome only occurs with the appearance of the meaning of unity in two stages, through the union of two ones, resulting in the sun of outcome and appearance. However, most people are unaware of this truth and imagine the outcome to be the same as two, which is false. The outcome comes from above, from two, and from the individual, for there cannot be a power of conclusion between two unless they equate each other. Look at the male and female. They can only achieve results through special movements they perform, which enable them to reproduce. If these special qualities and movements did not exist, there would be no outcome, no reproduction. This shows that movement is a third entity and is individual in nature, existing without any manifestation of unity. Almighty Allah said, "If there were other gods in heaven and earth besides Allah, both would have been ruined. Your God is one God." Al-Anbiya 22, the same applies to intellectual measures, so that the known can reason and conceive. No reasoning can be conceived without two premises, each consisting of two particulars. One particular informs about the other, but this does not result in a conclusion, just as saying, "The Sultan is unjust, his tool is man," does not lead to a conclusion unless these four words come together. However, for unity, these four words result in a conclusion only if they repeat in two premises, making them three. This inevitably leads to a special result due to their relationship, meaning the rule must be general from the cause and equal to it, and also special. If you want a meaningful outcome, one of the four must repeat in two premises. Otherwise, the outcome will not be meaningful, remaining three, not four. The purpose is the existence of the outcome, nothing else. Truth and falsehood are only relevant from the basis of premises. For example, one can inform about something present or absent in two premises, attributing truth or falsehood. Our explanation aims to emphasize that outcomes, which are the manifestation of the objects of beings, can only be valid with the individual, not with a non-individual one. Consider this: has the Almighty created the universe only with His essence or with His oneness? Allah has created the universe with His omnipotent essence. These are two things, essence and being omnipotent. Being omnipotent conveys a different meaning, distinct from Allah's essence. It doesn't limit Him as knowing or willing. Our limitation of Him as omnipotent is similar. Then, even if He exists as essence and omnipotent, can anything appear in the realm of existence without His direction? Thus, His direction is distinct from being omnipotent. This is a firm rule, also the rule of the individual, Birin. We have proved that Allah has always been essence and omnipotent, but in eternity, there was no existence, as the third rule, the one of directing to create, was not there. Without this rule, the emergence of existence and the work of action is impossible. However, the impossibility of being omnipotent is not there. Think deeply about this matter. Regarding the conclusions of the propositions mentioned above, I fear they are misunderstood. Let me give you an example related to religious law, closer to your understanding and religious knowledge. When you want to clarify that the inherent intoxicant in existence is forbidden, you say every intoxicant is forbidden. The two expressions here are intoxicant and forbidden. Then we say, so, this intoxicant is forbidden. This inevitably leads to the conclusion that the intoxicant is forbidden, but I mean the conclusion as a discussion. But is this conclusion correct or not? To know something else, another thing is needed. But this book is not the place to explain such topics. We mean the outcome that emerges into existence specifically with the individual Birin. Now consider these two propositions. In 4 stages, you will see it composed of 3 elements: intoxicant, forbidden, and neither of us. There is no fourth, but you repeat the word intoxicant, aiming for one, and the outcome is achieved with this. The special method here is the repetition in science. Regarding the special condition of this union, it is that the rule in this matter must be more general than the cause. That is, the cause is the intoxicant, and the rule is to forbid. Prohibition is more general than intoxication, as many things are forbidden, and intoxicants are only part of them, including non-intoxicating things. If you understood that it's about the effect and action of unity, our purpose is achieved. Then know that, just as I permeate all levels of numbers, the letter Aleph permeates the origins of all letters, which is why we named this book the Book of Alif. Letters are dependent on Aleph. The priority is sanctity, and subsequently, every letter is connected to it. Thus, everything is related to it, and it is related to nothing. This is similar to 1, for the existence of the objects of numbers pertains to it, and 1 does not pertain to them. 1 brings them forth, but they do not bring forth 1. In this context, the letters Dal, Zal, Ra, Zain, and Vav are similar to it, in terms of permeation. There are opposites, Makabul Muzman and Makabul Maksur, similar to the letters. We have mentioned all this in the Book of Letters. Our explanations there are sufficient and can be referred to. As mentioned before, just as one cannot be confined to a single stage and its object, namely its name, is hidden in all stages, Aleph cannot be confined to a single stage, and its name is hidden in all stages. In stages, the name belongs to all letters, but in meaning, it belongs to Aleph, like 1. Therefore, we named the treatise the Book of Aleph. The context in which the questioner asked the question necessitated the achievement of our purpose in this book. Almighty Allah knows best. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. The technical book, also known as the Book of Alif, has ended. God willing, this will be followed by the word. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Note, Ahadiyat, the Book of Alif, has ended. Praise be to Allah. Blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad, the last of the prophets, his family, all prophets, messengers, and angels. May Allah bless the Messenger of Allah, his companions, followers, and those who follow the rightly guided path until the day of religion. May Allah be pleased with them, with us for our good conduct towards them, with our parents, our offspring, and all Muslims and believers. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Allah is sufficient for us, and He is the best guardian.